Hi, this is David with entry number, excuse me, 621 here along this really nice little artificial stream that they created near Hongdae. And today I wanted to talk about something that I personally feel very strongly about. And sorry about the camera. In retrospect, I shouldn't have recorded here, but it's really nice and quiet and kind of serene, and so I thought, why not try and record here. I wanted to record something about, I'm stepping on some flowers, about something that is very interesting to me, and that is the concept or the idea of compromise, of negotiation, of who we choose to be, who we are, and kind of what it takes to be true to yourself. Now, at this point in the recording, I'm 26 years old, about 3 months away from being 27. I'm living in South Korea. I'm living off of money that I worked for the last about year and a half for. Majority-wise, I am working now as a private tutor, but majority of my money is coming from my previous employment. And how I'm living is, I think, a very unique case study. I'm going to talk about myself a little bit, and I know I do it most of these, but I want you to know that I'm just saying how it is. I'm not talking about the quality or whatever of it, but basically I'm living very meagerly, I would say. Very meagerly. I make my own food. I cook my own food, I should say. I eat 3 meals a day at home. I allow myself 1 meal outside home per week. And by doing that, by living this way, I am able to live very cheaply. I do not go out at night. I come in usually around 4 or 5 in the evening, and I don't go out. I don't spend money on alcohol. I actually have not drunk a single drop of alcohol in this year of 2015. I have not consequently have not purchased a single bottle or drop of alcohol. And by doing this sort of practice, by living this way, it has afforded me a certain concept and sacrifice and way of living that I think has been very unique to my situation. Mainly, and this is, or maybe some negativity will come in, but mainly it has meant that my friend pool, which was already very small, has been reduced to practically zero, I'll say. I can literally count the number of people I can literally count the amount of friends I have here on one hand, and consequently, I don't want to say that I feel lonely, because I honestly don't. I would rather say that it has kind of forced me to adapt and find other ways of kind of effective communication, or ways to kind of change myself in a way that I think has really benefited me and hasn't really been a problem. Maybe a little bit, but on the whole, no. And the compromise I wanted to talk about today was the idea of compromising my true self for more friends. And I would completely say that if I were to change my kind of attitudes, adopt a more kind of, oh, how would you say it, a more laid back approach to life, that I think a lot of people would say that the quality of the life I would live would be higher. I would have more friends, I would have more socialization, I would have probably a more varied diet. But, you know, do I really want to change myself for the sake of others? Do I really want to feel, is, the question is the cost of myself worth the socialization that I would receive from being with other people? And to me personally, I don't want to pay that price. I don't want to change myself enough to kind of garner more friends or whatever, for the sake of, who I am. And that kind of begs the question at this point, who am I? And there's where kind of the rub really lies, because the situation becomes a little bit more dire and maybe a little more sad at this point. I've learned that over the years that my demeanor and my true self isn't someone who is exactly nice to be around. I think there are certain people in the world who appreciate and can stand and maybe even like who I am as a person, really. But I think most people, if they were exposed to kind of who I am at my core, would not want to spend time with me. And call that sad, call that depressing, call that bad, but it is a true thing, I think, to know that who you are as a person isn't someone that is very likable. Likable is it's an interesting thing. I'll say that. It's not necessarily bad, and it's not necessarily good. It's just kind of how it is for me. And I'm not gonna say that I'm like some kind of sad, pathetic sack, but I would say that I'm someone who knows their limitations well and respects them and even likes them. And so, to kind of bring it back to my kind of thesis statement of compromise, I have decided, and this is a long time ago, to be honest, that I will not compromise who I am as a person and as a individual for the sake of other people. And I am willing to pay the price, whatever that is. Whether that is having less than 5 friends, whether that is, a life of solitude, and whether that is kind of a somewhat depressing outlook on life. I'm willing to accept that. And I think most people out there this isn't the kind of life for them, and I fully admit that. This is a very hard, mentally difficult life to live, because it is very lonely and because it is a little bit sad at times. But it is something I've chosen. It is something that I kind of want to do. And I think at the end of the day, for me personally, because it is my choice, because I'm living on my own terms, and because, this is kind of the way I want to be, it's worth it for me. It isn't worth it for everyone else. I admit that. But for me, at my stage in life, at this point, it's totally Okay, so with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll talk with you in a couple of days. Bye.